Hey, this is Anthony Effinger at Willamette Week, and I'm back with another episode of Distant Voices. And today I'm talking with Darius Northern. He's the founder of People of Color Clothing, and he has a heck of a story to tell. Darius, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So you have had a very busy time of COVID. Is that right?
I would say so. Yes. I think the beginning of COVID, it's kind of like to tell the two stories. But the beginning of COVID, I thought like things were going to completely dry up, and I thought COVID would last like 3 months, 4 months at the most. So I think within that 3 month parameter, that 4 month parameter that I gave myself, I was like, okay, my business is about to die. Like nobody's gonna have money to spend. I was actually looking at jobs at the post office, and I was prepared to kind of like transition out of POC temporarily at the beginning of COVID, just because a lot of stuff was canceled, and the events and stuff that I was kind of banking on happening for me, this was kind of taken off the table. So I was like, okay, let me prepare myself for what's to come.
So what did your business look like before COVID hit?
It was cool. It had its peak moments, but a lot of it was just kind of like sporadic. I didn't have as many followers, so I really had to be creative from a marketing standpoint to reach my consumer and make my consumer feel like I was giving them individual attention. So it was a lot of like social media work and like DMing and like, all that type of stuff just to get by through the month. My brand is still pretty young. So I had to get really creative. And then when COVID hit, I'm just like, okay, it's a wrap.
So did you start the company while you were at OSU?
I did. 2017, I grew really frustrated with the environment, the social environment here. And I was looking for a way to express myself, and then clothing just kind of seemed apropos. Got on YouTube, figured out how to make clothing, got up enough confidence to buy the equipment to make the clothing. And then I would start making clothing in my bedroom. And the strategy that I had, the brand didn't have a name. It was just more so like a me thing, I'm trying to express myself in this environment that I inhabit. So I would start making shirts in my room, put provocative, thought-provoking questions on the back, and it accidentally turned into a clothing brand. People took interest and stuff for people, and it just kind of took off from there. But originally, I came here to study horticulture, and that was like my whole MO was trying to make gardening cool.
You came from, where did you move from? Tennessee, was it?
Oh yeah, Nashville, Tennessee.
Okay, and you moved to Oregon to do horticulture.
Yes. Oregon State just historically has a great ag program, so I wanted to take advantage of that.
Yeah, I actually did the Master Gardener program through OSU. It is great.
It is.
Okay, so then what happened?
Like I said, I think the transition from the East Coast to the West Coast, and having this perception of Oregon being this super liberal, super open, super inclusive place, and it is that for like a certain type of person. I didn't expect to have so many side effects of being a tall Black man in Oregon. The anxiety, the isolation behavior, the not wanting to go out into public, people asking me about, am I on a football team? Do I play basketball? Do I do this? Do I run track? All of this. And it just became exhaustive, walking around in this environment became exhaustive, and people having like these extravagant assumptions about me just because I'm tall and I'm Black at a predominantly white institution. So I think that was the seed that was planted in me. And I think what grew from that was like the desire to make people consciously aware of their surroundings. And not every Black person is an athlete. Not every Black man plays basketball. So I really wanted to kind of flip the script and make it from like me being uncomfortable in my environment to like people having to think and internalize their racial identity amongst people who typically don't have to think about their racial identity because they are amongst themselves most of the time.
The slogans you print on your shirt are on the mark. I was wondering, do you have any you could hold up and show?
I have this one right here. This
Let's
one,
see.
it says the empowerment of women is the best way to save the world. I just I just solely believe in that. Women, they just get stuff done. That's tried and
I have
true.
to. I totally agree with that.
Yeah,
If you know my wife, you know that's true.
yeah. And then this one, this is like a one-off, but this one says, will we keep the same political energy and alertness during the next regime of presidency? I've seen all the celebration with our new elected president, Joe Biden, and his vice president, Kamala Harris. And I think it's all good and dandy. But I just kind of wanted to see, like, are we going to keep the same energy and the same wokeness and the same, like, fervor for politics? So that's just one of the things I wanted to, like, put on my Instagram, write about, and then kind of start a conversation from there.
What's been the reaction?
Everything has been kind of positive. I've had people slide in my DMs with conservative views, and I just completely just. I anticipated that, but I've also had people message me to try to start the conversation of like, you're right, we do need to keep this. We do, like, as a society, we tend to go hard for something and go like really hard, really hard, really hard, get minor results, and then we kind of revert back to just our normalcy, and that thing reverts back to how it was before. So it's just like I'm just kind of interested to see over the next 4 years will we keep them accountable in regards to what they campaigned on.
Yeah, that's absolutely a concern. Where do you distribute? How do you sell your clothing?
Everything is done through peopleofcolorclothing.com online. So we're just fully online. And then under normal circumstances, I call it catching wins on the road. I would get on the road, go to Portland, go to Salem, go to Eugene. I was invited to go to Seattle, San Francisco, and just do as many like markets and events that I can in person. It's really easy to sell this in person. Online, you kind of have to convince people and articulate the mission and, you know, the ideals behind the brand. But in person, when you see it, you can feel it, you can read it, you can try it. Like it's super easy.
So did you expect when you showed up at OSU that you would become a clothing entrepreneur?
No, no, not at all. I still have like in the basement, I still have like my overalls and like my little tool belt and my dirty boots and all of that stuff from gardening. That was the vision that I had. It was trying to make horticulture, urban gardening cool. I wanted to like, I really have like a soft spot for chronic disease within communities of color. And I wanted to go into these communities and like really advocate for people to grow their own food and like eat more veggies and, you know, cut down on the meat and stuff like that. And that was like my driving force to move and make that 45-hour drive here. It was because I wanted to do that. But it just so happened like the social element kind of steered me in a different direction.
I hope you don't give up on the gardening thing though. That's really important. As a gardener, I couldn't agree with you more. And are you going to stick with that too? Or probably don't have time?
I think on the back end, once the brand is established, like I said, the brand is still pretty young. But once everything is established and everything can kind of like, I have a team of people that can, you know, I can delegate responsibilities to. I feel it completely apropos to like make that a nonprofit on the back end of our brand. So I'm super excited, and I already have people within my team that are excited about that idea as well.
I got to say that is inspirational.
Hey,
I'm so impressed with what you've done. This has been great.
thanks
Really
for
a delight to talk to you.
yeah, thanks for having me again.